Please give me your money, 'cause I could really use some money. Previously on my World Cup qualifying videos, we were looking at some more of Europe's first match day, including this historic penalty from Valon Berisha of Kosovo. This time, it's time for South America to stretch stuff once again with match days 7 and 8. We're almost halfway. And we shall begin at the Estadio Olímpico Atahualpa in Quito as Ecuador hosted Brazil. With no goals in the first half, Brazil were able to get themselves a penalty with 20 minutes left to play. Of course, it would be Neymar taking it and scoring it on 72 minutes. The Brazilian superstar would have his thunder well and truly stolen later in the game as Gabriel Jesus scored a great little cheeky flip with 87 minutes played. In injury time, Brazil added a third with the two goal scorers combining to give Gabriel Jesus his second, and a final score of Ecuador 0, Brazil 3. Colombia next, and they hosted Venezuela at the Estadio Metropolitano Roberto Melendez in Barranquilla. The Colombians have their own superstar, James Rodriguez, and he opened the scoring for them just before half time. An easy win for Colombia was completed on 82 minutes when the wonderfully named McNelly Torres scored, and Venezuela slumped to yet another defeat. Two of the lesser fancied sides next, as Bolivia faced Peru at the Estadio Hernandez Siles in La Paz. A wonderful free kick opened the scoring for the Bolivians, Escobar rifling it in on 38 minutes. Raldez added a second for Bolivia on 86 minutes, and if you hadn't guessed from the graphic at the bottom of the screen throughout the match, the game finished 2-0 to Bolivia. Following that, we were now at the Estadio Defensores del Chaco in Asunción as Paraguay took on Chile, and you won't see a better goal in the round than this one. Thunderbolt from Oscar Romero on 6 minutes to give Paraguay the lead. And just like that, Paraguay were 2-0 ahead with Da Silva scoring with a very close range header with 9 minutes played. Arturo Vidal pulled a goal back for Chile on 36 minutes, but unfortunately for them they were not able to come back and Paraguay defeated the reigning Copa America champions 2-1. Matchday 7's last match was Argentina vs Uruguay at the Estadio Malvinas Argentinas in Mendoza. Lionel Messi, who else, scored the only goal of the game on 43 minutes. And with that 1-0 win, we moved swiftly on to matchday 8, but we stay with Uruguay as they took on Paraguay at the Estadio Centenario in Montevideo. And it would be the home side that had the early advantage, Edinson Cavani scoring on 18 minutes. As the game headed towards half-time, Uruguay added a second, Christian Rodriguez heading in from this corner on 42 minutes. There was still time before half-time for a Uruguayan penalty as Luis Suarez was clattered in the area. Suarez did the duty himself to give Uruguay a 3-0 lead going into the break. In the second half, Uruguay would only add one more goal, Luis Suarez setting up Edinson Cavani for his second goal of the game, and Uruguay's fourth. The result leaves Uruguay top of the table on 16 points. It was the Arena de Amazonia in Manaus' turn to host the 5-time champions Brazil when they took on Colombia. And the game wasn't even 2 minutes old when Miranda gave Brazil the lead. Colombia equalised in the 36th minute when Marquinhos scored an own goal off this free kick. It was Neymar to the rescue for Brazil, and on 74 minutes he would give the home side the lead and the win. With this result, Brazil sits second in the table on 15 points, Colombia not far behind in fourth on 13. Over to the Estadio Monumental David Arellano in Santiago, Chile, where Bolivia were the visitors, and the home side were out of the blocks very fast, almost scoring in the first 30 seconds. Not long before half-time they thought they had taken the lead, but for a foul on the goalkeeper, and the result stayed as it was, Chile 0, Bolivia 0. Peru took on Ecuador next at the Estadio Nacional in Lima. With almost 20 minutes played, the Peruvians got themselves a penalty. I'm not sure how, there might have been a handball there, but the penalty was taken by Cueva, and he scored it on 19 minutes. The delighted home fans were soon silenced on 31 minutes thanks to a goal from Achilea. This would be Peru's day, however, and on 78 minutes the ball kindly fell to Tapia, who fired through 4 Ecuador defenders to give Peru the lead. The final score was 2-1, but luckily for Ecuador, they're still in the playoff position in 5th place on 13 points. And just like that, we move to the last game of the video at the Estadio Metropolitano de Merida, as Venezuela took on Argentina in possibly the game of the round. Surprisingly, it would be Venezuela taking the lead, Wampy smashing home a screamer on 34 minutes. We had more of the same in the second half as Venezuela doubled their lead on 52 minutes with a goal from Josef Martinez. Argentina would get a goal back 6 minutes later, Prato working his way through a couple of Venezuelan defenders before finally poking the ball into the net. With only 7 minutes left to play, Venezuelan hearts were broken, Nicolas Otamendi equalising for Argentina. The result unfortunately leaves Venezuela dead last on 2 points, Argentina in 3rd place with 15. That's it for this video. We've got the last lot of European ones coming up next. Like and subscribe and give me money on Patreon if you can.